Good morning everyone, basa na tayo ng Bible. But before ang lahat, batiin ko muna si Rockline Pag-vlogs ng Happy 11th Mansari and thank you sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa akin. Mula sa advisors at mentor ko at lalong-lalo na sa mga tiga-suporta ko, maraming salamat po. God bless you all. Dito na tayo sa Proverbs pang September 11 advance kasi ngayon September 3 lang, so Mansari natin. Pero nyo guys, nakatagal tayo ng 11 months. Walang absent. Basa lang ng basa. Dito tayo sa pang September 11 natin. Basahin nyo rin yung schedule ng Bible nyo para hindi kayo maligaw. Sabayan nyo lang din ako. Proverbs chapter 10, 11, and 12. Yung pang September 11 nyo guys. And 2Corinthians chapter 4. Buong chapter 4. So, chapter 4 verse 1 to 18. Basa. Mabilisan lang at magwo-work na tayo. Treasures in jars of clay. Therefore, since through God's mercy we have this ministry, we do not lose heart. Rather, we have renounced secret and shameful ways. We do not use deception, nor do we distort the word of God. On the contrary, by setting forth the truth plainly, we commend ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God. And even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled to those who are perishing. The God is kumulo na dyan. Nag-uumpisa pa nga lang eh. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. For we do not preach ourselves but Jesus Christ as Lord, and ourselves as your servants, for Jesus' sake. For God who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard pressed on every side but not crushed, perplexed but not in despair, persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. For we who are alive are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake, so that his life, wag, yung dyan ko naririnig kaya yan sa video. Okay, ulitin natin yung verse 11. For we who are alive are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake, so that his life may be revealed in our mortal body. So then, death is at work in us, but life is at work in you. It is written, "I believe, therefore I have spoken." With that same spirit of faith, we also believe that therefore ulitin natin yung verse 13 guys. It is written, "I believe, therefore I have spoken." With that same spirit of faith, we also believe and therefore speak, because we know that the one who raised the Lord Jesus from the dead will also raise us with Jesus and present us with you in his presence. All this is for your benefit, so that the grace that is reaching more and more people may cause thanksgiving to overflow the glory of God. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. So dito na tayo sa Proverbs tatlong chapter siya, tapos mahaba pa guys. Tama ba tayo ng binabasa? Okay. So, ang babasahin natin ay chapter 10, 11, and 12. Ang daming guide eh. Kasi baka mahirap na magkamali kasi. Mainam na yung sure ba kahit mabagal lang pero sure. Proverbs chapter 10. Hindi ko nabasahin yung ano guys, yung headers para mabilis na tayo. Proverbs of Solomon. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise. Kasi ano naman nakalagay dito sa headers eh. Parang nakalagay sa kanya, the first section was written by Solomon. The next two sections were written by others but collected by Solomon. So, ibig sabihin, understanding na to na si Solomon ang nagsulat. Tapos yung iba, kino-collection lang ni Solomon. Ganun. Proverbs of Solomon. Shortcut. Proverbs of Solomon, chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son grief to his mother. Ill-gotten treasures are of no value. Ba't ako nag-ano? Yung mata ko, hirap. Nakasalamin na yan, guys. Okay, ulitin natin. Proverbs of Solomon. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son grief to his mother. Ill-gotten treasures are of no value, but righteousness delivers from death. The Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he thwarts the crabbing of the wicked. Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. Allah, yung verse 4, tingnan nyo, huwag kayo maging tamad. Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. So, kung gusto nyong umangat ang buhay, guys, huwag maging tamad, ha? Nakalagay naman talaga dito sa verse 4, oh. Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth. He who gathers crop in summer is a wise son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son. Blessings crown the head of the righteous, but violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the righteous will be a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out. He who winks maliciously causes grief, and chattering fool comes to ruin. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirs up dissension, but love covers over all wrongs. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of him who lacks judgment. Wise men store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool invites ruin. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor. The wages of the righteous bring them life, but the income of the wicked brings them punishment. He who heeds discipline shows the way to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. He who conceals his hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. When words are many, sin is not absent, but he who holds his tongue is wise. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of judgment. Verse 22. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and he adds no trouble to it. A fool finds pleasure in evil conduct, but a man of understanding delights in wisdom. What the wicked dreads will overtake him. What the righteous desire will be granted. When the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is a sluggard to those who sent him. The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a refuge for the righteous, but it is the ruin of those who do evil. The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be cut out. Wait lang. Di gyud ko makalahutay guys pag kuan ba, pagbasa. Alam niyo yung nararamdaman niyo pag pumipiyok-piyok na kayo. Ulitin natin sa verse 30. The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is fitting, but the mouth of the wicked only what is perverse. Dito na tayo sa chapter 11, verse 1. The Lord abhors dishonest scales, but accurate weights are His delight. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless makes a straight way for them, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are trapped by evil desires. When a wicked man dies, his hope perishes. All he expected from his power comes to nothing. The righteous man is rescued from trouble, and it comes on the wicked instead. Verse 8. Verse 9 pala. Guys, nakasalamin pa yan na. Nakasalamin pa yung sarap, pero ang basa talaga naman. Verse 9. With his mouth, the godless destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge, sorry. Oh no, 5 minutes na lang. With his mouth, the godless destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge, the righteous escape. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Through the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wicked, it is destroyed. A man who lacks judgment derides his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue. A gossip betrays confidence, but a trustworthy man keeps a secret. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but many advisers make victory sure. He who puts up security for another will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to strike hands in place is safe. A kind-hearted woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. A kind of man benefits himself, but a cruel man brings trouble on himself. The wicked man earns deceptive wages, but he who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward. The truly righteous man attains life, but he who pursues evil goes to his death. The Lord detests men of perverse heart, but he delights in those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Verse 22. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. The desire of the righteousness, verse 23. Sundan nyo rin ako ng basa guys para hindi kayo magkamali. The desire of the righteous ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked only in wrath. One man gives freely yet gains even more, another withholds unduly but comes to poverty. A generous man will prosper, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. People curse the man who hoards grain, but blessing crowns him who is willing to sell. He who seeks good finds goodwill, but evil comes to him who searches for it. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall. Ayan na. Basahin niyo yung verse 28. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. So, huwag sambahin ang kayamanan guys, kundi babagsak din kayo. He who brings trouble on his family will inherit only wind, and the fall will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise. If the righteous receive their Jew on earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner. Chapter 12. Yes, last chapter na natin. Whoever loves, verse 1, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. A good man obtains favor from the Lord, but the Lord condemns a crafty man. A man cannot be established through wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted. A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. So, maging noble character tayo guys, para magiging proud sa atin yung ating mga husband. Para maganda rin yung proud sila sa atin. Verse 5, the plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful. The words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the speech of the upright rescues them. Wicked men, verse 7, wicked men are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands firm. A man is praised according to his wisdom, but men with warped minds are despised. Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. A righteous man cares for the needs of his animal, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. Bilisan na. He who works. Okay, ulit sa verse 8. Better to be nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. A righteous man cares for the needs of his animal, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. He who works his land will have abundant food, but he who chases fantasies lacks judgment. The wicked desire the plunder of evil men, but the root of the righteous flourishes. An evil man is trapped by his sinful talk, but a righteous man escapes trouble. From the fruit of his lips a man is filled with good things, as surely as the work of his hands rewards him. The way of a fool seems right to him, but a wise man listens to advice. A fool chooses annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. A truthful witness gives honest testimony, but a false witness tells lies. Reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Oh, yung verse 18 guys, nakalagay. Reckless words pierce like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. So, dito tayo sa wise para nakakagaling yung salita natin. 'Di ba? Bye everyone. God bless.